In life, there are moments that feel so humiliating, so painfully unforgettable, that they leave a dent in our confidence. Moments that make us want to hide from the world, avoid every spotlight, and silence our own voice. But what if I told you that some of the most remarkable people in history once stood exactly where you are, broken by embarrassment, and sure of themselves, and terrified to ever try again? Today's story is about one such person, someone who transformed a moment of deep humiliation into a lifetime of strength, leadership, and global influence. This is a journey of rebuilding confidence after embarrassment. Inspired by the remarkable life of a woman who proved that even our most painful moments can become the foundation of extraordinary courage. There was once a young girl who stood on a stage, trembling as hundreds of eyes fell on her. She had dreamed of delivering a speech that would inspire her community, but instead, her mind went blank, her voice cracked, her thoughts scattered, and within seconds, the audience burst into confused whispers. Some laughed quietly, others looked away. Embarrassed for her, it was a moment that felt like it shattered her soul. That young girl was Eleanor Roosevelt, the woman who would later become one of the most influential voices in human rights and leadership across the world. But long before she was admired, respected, and quoted globally, she was a fragile child who suffered through deep embarrassment and an almost paralyzing shyness. Eleanor grew up believing she was awkward, unattractive, and unworthy of attention. She was teased, insulted, and made to feel invisible. Whenever she tried to speak in public, she shook uncontrollably. That humiliating moment on stage stayed with her for years. She replayed it in her mind repeatedly, how her words refused to come out, how her hands shook, how the audience reacted. She could have allowed that moment to define her life. She could have decided she would never put herself in a position to speak publicly again. Many people do that. One embarrassment becomes a lifetime of silence. But Eleanor, with time, came to a powerful realization: embarrassment does not break you unless you let it. It is only a moment, not a definition. As she grew older, she found herself pushed again and again into situations that frightened her. When she married Franklin D. Roosevelt and he began his political journey, she was expected to step into public life, dinners, conferences, gatherings filled with important people. And each time, she felt that familiar fear rise in her chest. But here is where her transformation began. Instead of avoiding what embarrassed her, she faced it. Quietly, steadily, one small moment at a time. She forced herself to speak with strangers, even though her voice trembled. She pushed herself to attend public events, even when she wanted to hide. She joined organizations, took leadership roles, and learned to speak for causes she believed in. The truth is, confidence does not return in a single day. It grows like a slow sunrise, first soft, then steady, then impossible to ignore. Eleanor understood this. She learned to see embarrassment not as a failure, but as a teacher, one that reveals what we need to work on and what strength we must build. But her greatest reconstruction of confidence came after yet another painful moment. When Franklin was struck with polio and lost the ability to walk, Eleanor was thrust into the spotlight in a way she never expected. Her husband needed her to become his eyes, his voice, his bridge to the people. She had to speak at events, lead initiatives, travel, organize, negotiate, and communicate at the highest levels. The same woman who once trembled on a stage was now standing before thousands, delivering messages that shaped national policies. But this transformation was not magic. It was the result of facing fear repeatedly, embracing embarrassment as a stepping stone rather than an ending. One day, during a major event, she was again mocked for her voice and appearance by certain politicians and members of the press. But instead of shrinking back, she made a decision that would define the rest of her life. She chose purpose over insecurity. She chose courage over comfort. She chose to become the woman she needed when she was that scared young girl. Eleanor Roosevelt went on to speak more than 75,000 times in her lifetime. She wrote books, hosted radio shows, delivered lectures around the world, became the first U.S. delegate to the United Nations. and played a crucial role in drafting the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a document that today protects the dignity of every human being on Earth. What an incredible ending for a girl who once broke down in front of a crowd. Her story teaches us something essential: your most embarrassing moment does not define your future. It prepares you for it. Confidence is not something you stumble upon, it is something you rebuild, piece by piece, through every failure, every misstep, every moment of discomfort. Embarrassment feels like the world is watching your weakness, but in truth, it is simply revealing the strength you have yet to discover. Eleanor did not become confident because she never embarrassed herself again. She became confident because she kept going despite it. Think about your own life. Think about the moment that crushed you, the mistake, the fall, the failure, the laughter you heard, the whispers behind your back, the moment that made you feel small. That moment does not have to be your prison. It can be your turning point. You rebuild confidence the same way Eleanor did, by refusing to let humiliation silence you, by stepping forward even when your legs shake, by allowing yourself to grow through what once hurt you. Every time you face what embarrassed you, you take back a piece of your power. Every time you try again, you rewrite your story. Confidence grows when you show up, not when you avoid the world. And behind every great person who has ever achieved something meaningful, there is a moment of humiliation they had to rise from. They did not become remarkable because their journey was smooth. They became remarkable because they refused to quit after stumbling. So let this be your reminder: the embarrassment you faced was not the end. It was the beginning of a stronger, braver version of you. Your voice still matters. Your dreams are still valid. Your confidence can be rebuilt. Just like Eleanor Roosevelt, an ordinary girl who turned her greatest insecurity into her greatest strength, you too can rise from the moment that once brought you down. You too can stand taller than your fears. You too can become someone who inspires others simply by refusing to stop showing up. And if this story moved you, motivated you, or reminded you of your own inner strength, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel so more people can find the encouragement they need to rise again.